Pretty gutsy win, Craig, in the end.
Yeah, obviously the game could have went either way, but especially when we got behind there 16-14, and we just kept sliding away, and then all of a sudden we found a bit of room through the middle, which we found probably a little bit early in the game, but then we were sort of struggling to go through there, but it opened up at the end for us. So I was real proud of them tonight. It's I think it's been well documented. We haven't done so well the last couple of years, during this period. But I thought, the last couple of weeks, obviously the results have been quite lopsided. But I think our effort for most of the games has been pretty good, and they come with that effort again tonight, and they got a reward tonight. So like I say, I was real proud of them. There were some guys out there that put in some really big performances for us.
Is it encouraging to see the young guys stand up and score the match-winning tries at the end?
Yeah, well, obviously it was, with Ben Hampton, scoring that try, that's sort of his strength, I suppose, supporting. But certainly, Kurt Mann, he had a whole heap of work to do to score that try, and so he's been really good for us the last couple of weeks. So yeah, like I say, we still made it a little bit hard for us. At the end there we got 8 in front, but like I say, I know whether we deserved to be that far in front, but I think they scored 3 of their 4 tries were off kicks, so that says that we've defended reasonably well.
How important is it that somebody like Jesse steps up and plays the kind of game that he played tonight when you do have those guys out?
Oh yeah, it's really important. Hinch here and Noz, Will Chambers, Jess, Kevin Proctor, all those guys. It's important, but I don't know. His performance tonight was pretty, indicative of what he's been doing all year for us. He has been simply outstanding for us all year. Probably tonight he probably played his longest time for us. Like he got about 70 minutes out tonight. So that's quite phenomenal for the amount of work he does and the size of the guy. So yeah, but like I say, I think they all stood up and they all made a difference at some stage during the game tonight. And probably the last couple of weeks probably haven't been doing that for, I suppose, long enough in the game. Whereas tonight I thought, our effort was pretty good, for the 80 minutes.
Was that exactly the sort of response you were looking for after the rest of this match?
Yeah, without doubt. And to be quite honest, that was pushed during the week, but I must say it was pushed more from our leaders than even me probably. So with most of our leadership group gone for the Origin period, we don't see them much at all throughout that 8 or 9 weeks. So we've sort of got a new leadership group, and like I say, I thought they really stood up during the week as well this week, and and they stood up again tonight. So they were tremendous.
Hinchy, how do you describe Jesse's influence and skill set as a teammate?
Yeah, it's been huge. This year he's just seemed to grow another league. He really believes in himself, and when he walks out on that field, he believes he's the strongest, toughest player out there, and he plays like that. And the influence that he has on us as a team is huge. But like Bilak said, I think he had a few helpers tonight, and he's been outstanding for us all year, and we need him to keep doing that.
How important for the young guys to get a win like that, where you come from behind with the guys missing, for their confidence for the back end of the season?
Yeah, it's very important. It's a tough period for our club, and to come up here and they played quite well tonight, and we had to dig deep, and it's a very satisfying feeling for those young guys to experience. Playing without those senior guys. I think that's a great thing for our club, and great for their development. So it's good.
Craig, does this last 6 weeks compare to 2012 at all, and that tough period you guys went through then?
Yeah, we've had more injuries this year. It's obviously our Origin players, but also we had more injuries this year than last year. But I remember we came up here last year, and it was the same situation. It was when both sides didn't have their Origin players, and I think they beat us by about 8 points. It was a game a lot like tonight. But having said that, I think our effort tonight was a lot more consistent throughout the 80 minutes than it was last year. So, like I say, I think these guys really made that point during the week, and they really led well at training, and and made the point quite strong to the rest of the players that, you know, we need to stand up this week, and, you know, so for most of the time they did.
Is it good to have Jordan back, and I guess just for him to just now focus on football and put everything behind him?
Oh, yeah, without doubt. You know, it's you know, his situations, you know, it's quite unique, I suppose, and he had a lot of time, you know, to think about that while he's been out. So I think, you know, having his mind occupied with something else has been really good for him. So we'll slowly but surely, you know, give him more time, more minutes, and you know, hopefully he can, you know, could get better.
How was he going into the game, Craig? Did you have to manage him any differently than usual?
Probably a little bit early in the week, just made a couple of points to him, and other than that, I think he handled it, you know, pretty well. You know, he's not a guy that makes, you know, he likes to keep to himself basically, and you know, his thoughts and emotions, he doesn't like letting out there too much. So, but you know, he seemed to handle the week okay, and I thought he was reasonably strong tonight as well. You know, he didn't play, you know, a long period of time. He only had the one stint. So, as I said, you know, we'll slowly but surely ease him back into longer minutes, and you know, it's like I say, it's good that he's back playing footy.
Craig, when a losing coach complains about not having access to the Origin players, people kind of think it's sour grapes. You've won tonight, so you can take the moral high ground. What do you? I mean, is the time up on playing without your Origin players? Is it time to change things? What do you think?
Oh, well, I've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years, Steve. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, it all seems to be too complicated for us to understand how hard it must be, you know, to change the Origin period. Obviously, there's TV rights and whatever. So, you know, I just like to think that, you know, we keep talking about the welfare of our players. Well, sometimes we instead of talking about it, we need to do something about it. But as I said, you know, it just seems to be too complicated for us to imagine how they can change it, you know. But you think it's got to happen at some stage, because, you know, and I don't think the Origins are going to get any easier for anyone, you know.
And the crowds aren't getting much bigger in games like this, are they?
No, they're not. And yeah, you know, I think through the Origin period, without being disrespectful to any team or anyone at all, but I think certainly the NRL games, the standard drops, because, you know, you've got 34 of your best players not playing, and that's just the way it is, you know. And so, you know, obviously the ones I feel for is, you know, the fans, the NRL fans. You know, we all love Origin without a doubt. I mean, we don't want to change that, but you know, and as I said, I've said it before, and a lot of other people said it, that, you know, the fans of the NRL clubs are getting shortchanged, you know, at times.
What happened to Will Chambers?
Oh, he had a broken leg at one stage, then he had an ACL, and then all of a sudden he jumped off the stretcher and he's okay. No, he's got a pretty deep cut, just down the top of his shin, and apparently, yeah, that was it. They thought he actually, I think it was that deep. They saw something there. They thought it was a broken bone at one stage. So I'm not quite sure what Will was feeling or whatever, but yeah, but like I say, it's a cut. It's a nasty one. So I think he needs to go to the hospital and get it all cleaned out, you know, before they actually stitch it up. So yeah, so I was very relieved when he jumped off that stretcher and got back in position again.
Did he or Mal ring you to let you know that he could play?
No, he rang. Yeah.
Nice phone call.
Say again?
Nice phone call.
Oh yeah, again, you know, I'm a bit 50-50 like that. You know, I'm glad for, you know, Hitch, and I'm glad for me as a Storm person that you know, he's going to play with us. But I'd love to see him play Origin too. You know, I think you know, he's been into 3 or 4 camps now, and he's always been the 18th or 19th player. You know, so I can imagine he's probably a little bit frustrated. He doesn't admit to that, or he doesn't say that, but I know he loves being in the camps. But you know, all of us at the club would love to see him play in an Origin game, because I think, number one, I think he deserves it. You know, he's a very talented player, and he's very committed, you know, to playing his footy, and you know, he loves that idea of playing Origin. So yeah, I was a bit, you know, like I said, I feel for him that he's not quite there yet, but I'm sure if he keeps playing well for us, you know, it won't be too long. And you know, he's done some really classy things out there tonight. You know, he probably didn't get the ball as much as we would have liked, but you know, that try he scored was, you know, it was pretty easy in the end. You know, he's very talented.